So if you will indulge me this one occasion, as you know, we're celebrating Rite 13 with 5 wonderful young ladies. And so I want to direct my sermon mostly to these 5. But let me just say, don't go to sleep, because there's nothing that I'm saying to these 5 that isn't for our ears too, that isn't for our life as well. So pay attention, please. All right, you 5, so let me ask you this question. Have any of you ever seen the movie Bruce Almighty?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Some of you have. In this movie, Bruce, who is what's his job? Do you remember his job? He's a newscaster. In this movie, Bruce, who is a newscaster, comes face to face with none other than who?
God.
God. None other than God. Who is played by, who we would all choose to play God, Morgan Freeman. He's either God or president, don't you know? So at first, Bruce doesn't believe that this guy is God, because he looks just like an ordinary guy. He's dressed in white, but other than that, he just looks like Bruce. How could this be God, right? And what God says is, I'm going to go on a little vacation, and I want you to take over, right? Right? And so Bruce gets all of God's powers. So at first Bruce doesn't believe it, but then he comes to believe that he really has the power of God. And then it gets a little messy from there. Do you remember what he does in those early sort of weeks when he's discovering his power? What are some of the things that he does? He controls people. He makes his main rivals say some weird stuff that embarrasses him on TV. He makes sure that he's always at some like apocalyptic news story, just happens to be there, so he gets the news scoop. My favorite thing, and one that I have to admit being a little bit jealous about, do you remember what he does with his dog? He's got a wonderful Great Dane. Do you remember? Does anyone know?
He teaches it to use the toilet.
He teaches his dog how to use the toilets, yes. Now, if I had God's power, that's where I'm starting right here. So it takes him a while, but first he does come to believe that, oh my word, this is God standing in front of him. And then, after testing out the powers that God has shared with him, then he begins to get a little more magnanimous with his use of God's power. I won't tell you how the movie ends, but it's pretty good. It was good enough for a sequel, which wasn't as good. But anyhow, that's another story. So, the reason I bring up Bruce Almighty to you is because this Rite 13 ceremony that we're about to do is all about how you are created in God's image. And God has shared with you God's power. You have the power to be co-creators with God. Holy cow. Let me say that again. You're created in God's image. Now, I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know if that means that God has brown hair or that God wears a little beret here or God has glasses. Probably not, right? But what it means is that there is a likeness of you that is in God. Can you imagine that? That if someone wants to know what God looks like, all they need to do is look at you. Can you imagine that? Created in God's image. And if that's not scary enough, to think that if someone wants to know what God looks like, they should look at you. Well, this is even scarier. You have some of the same power that God has. You are a co-creator with God. You have the power to create dreams, the power to create joy, the power to create hope, the power to create goodness, the power to create love, and even, parents, hold yourselves here, the power to create life. Won't exercise that power anytime soon. You have the power to create with God. If you take that seriously, and if it doesn't make you tremble just a little bit, then you're not paying attention. One of the most powerful, profound things about the Detroit 13 ceremonies is that they recognize that this is a stage in life where these young women are beginning to take a step away from their moms and dads. That's right, moms and dads. They're going to take a step away, and you got to not chase them. For so long, I know, they're not liking the service anymore. For so long, you moms and dads have been in charge of creating their dreams, have been at least at the heart of creating their life, their joys, and all of that. And it's not that that is no longer true, but here's the thing. Now is becoming a time when they need to begin to create for themselves, when they need to find their own moral compass, when they need to decide what God looks like, what they look like, and what they're going to be about. They'll still be creating with you. And by all means, still create with other adults. That's part of why we do this service in the company of other adults in the congregation. Still join all of the congregation, all the adults here in that wonderful experience of creating. But also begin to think about how you are going to work with God. So Bruce saw his power and thought, this is cool. I'm going to teach my dog how to go to the bathroom on the toilet. I want to encourage you to hold the bar a little bit higher. You have a choice, you know. I mean, every day when you're in school, when you're mixing it up with your siblings, when you're talking to your mom and dad, when you're in church, wherever you are, you have a choice. Are you going to be a creative force for goodness, for kindness, for joy, for compassion, for respect? Or are you going to be a force that is more selfish? Force for judgment, for division, for greed. Those are the kinds of choices that we grown-ups are making daily in our work, in our communities. But there are already the choices you're faced with as well. In your schools, in your homes. And now, you're going to have to make them on your own, or a little bit more on your own. That's what being an adult is about. It's no more having your parents make the choices for you. There is no question that you have the power to create with God. The only question is whether you will use that power to create good and to create God's will, or use it for your own selfish desires. I hope and pray that we as a community can join with your parents in supporting you as your creators and as you contribute to building God's kingdom. The choice is yours. So, all right, let's do this